everyone. In this video, I will try to explain how to use JWT in the simplest and basic way. Before I am going to start, I would like to ask you a favor. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Let's start. So first of all, need to understand that what is JWT. JWT stands for JSON Web Token. JWT is a compact URL safe means of representing claims to be transferred between two parties. The claim in a JWT are encoded as a JSON object that is used as payload of a JSON web signature, enabling the claims to be digital signed or integrated protected with a message authentication code. Basically, JWT token look like this. If we will look at this one is the base 64 encoded header dot that base 64 encoded claims, then base 64 encoded signature. It's basically the three sections. That is, the first one is a header, claim and signature. So JSON format which we encoded in base 64 and encoded base claims will be base 64, and signature created and signed based on header and claims which is encoded in base 64. Let's start with the practical. Just open the Visual Studio. First of all, need to create one blank project. Just open. Make a blank project, other project. This one is a blank solution. I'm going to write like a Web API, MVC and JWT. Click on OK. JWT auth. Click on OK. Now going to add that Web API. Just right click the project, add that new project. Just select the web ASP.MVC application and write here Web API JWT. Click on OK. Select that empty template and Web API. Click on OK. Now you can see the Web API project has been created. Now going to create that MVC project. New project. Select Web ASP.MVC application, Web MVC and click on OK. Just select empty and MVC. Click on OK. Now you see that is already created. First of all, need to install that. Right click on the manage NuGet package manager and first install that course. This install. Now click on I accept. Now you can see that course has successfully installed. For that JWT you need to install, just write that system dot identity models dot token JWT. Just install this one. Here you can see that system.identity model.tokens.JWT is successfully installed. Just close. Now need to add one token manager. Just add one class. That this particular class will generate the tokens once you are going to pass that user ID. So it will generate that token. That and it will use the token manager. Just click on add. So first of all, need to add one secret key, that is make a private static string, that is a secret key. You can write any things just like this number, or I am going to use that write a new wait dot to string. Now I'm going to create that public static. It will generate that token. So string generate token. It will take the username. But I'm going just returning that one empty. For the time being. So next one will be the byte array. That will be the key. Word dot to base 64 string, that is your secret key. This will be the from base 64 string. Okay. The next one is that symmetric security key. This one, just write that security key new security token descriptor. Inside that, first one is that your subject, that will be your new claim identity. Okay, this one. Now here you can return that particular security token descriptor, and this one is a security token, and here I am adding that particular claims that is a username. So that particular claims we are going to use for that next request. Just like first that user have login, so it will generate that one token, and it will return to that particular client side that is for user, and that every request that that particular user will send that token. So in that particular claims we are going to verify that if is particular user or token is valid or not. So it will expire in the 30 minutes. In the signature credential I am using that this HMS AC SHA 256 signatures for algorithm, and it will return that particular token. Okay, so we'll check that one how once we are going to pass that particular username, so how it will be the generator token. So go to that solution, right click on the controller and add one controller, that is a Web API and MVC, that will be the account controller. So here that I'm going to create that HTTP response message, get or just valid login. Okay, so in that valid login I'm going to pass that string username and the string user password. So here we will check that one if something username, this username if username equal to admin and user password is equal to also admin, then it will return request dot create response. This one will be the HTTP status code, that will be the OK. This one and that generate the token manager here dot generate token, need to pass username, else it will return error. Request dot create error response, that is HTTPS status bad gateway, and just send the message username and password is invalid. Right. That is done. Now I'm going to consume this one. First we'll check in that Google Chrome. Just run the application. One more thing need to change. I'm going to change here. I'm not using that that particular route this way. So what I am going to do, just I will change to that here. I'm going to write like an action, and that this one will be the here HTTP get. Now in the application, because now it will be that account, that your route will be that first one is the account, then your action name is your valid login. Just run the application. So just pass that one, that particular account, that valid login, username is admin and password is admin. Maybe that it will give that error because of that your new guide, that new guide is generating that invalid, some specific invalid character, such illegal character. So not going to use that guide.new guides. I'm going to generate one string instead of using that guide.new guides. I'm writing that one string. Just here also you can add one more character. Okay, now try one more time. Same URL I'm going to use. This one particular user password is equal to admin and username is the admin. Just press on OK. Let's see that length is high. Yeah, you can see that it's generating that character. This you can see. So this one is that just check that you can write that some string only, just 1 2 3 ABCD capital A. So one secret key, this one you can save into your web config or you will get from the database this value. Okay, now you can see that it's generating that one token, this particular token. Okay, now next thing is that once that user will send that token with your username, so it will generate that username. So with that help of that your claims, so we'll get the token. If you'll pass that token, so it will return that username. Now second thing, if we will look here, that if you are going to pass that token, so it will return that claim principles what you have done here. So it will return that your claim principle, this by that JWT security token handle, and here that read.tokens, it will again that convert into that particular secret, that same secret key it's using. And this one, if you will look, this one, this is a validate token. So means like that once you are going to that pass that token, it will return that particular user, just like if you log in with a admin users and you will pass that particular token, so it will return that one particular username just like admin. But if just like if some another user want to use that same token, so it will give that invalid. So same one I'm going to, for that verification we'll create, going to create that custom authentication, because every time that client will send that token, so every time we need to verify that particular client is okay or not. So just create the one class that will be the custom authentication. Filter custom authentication filter, click on add. So here that will be that authorized attribute, authorized filter attribute, yeah. And then one more is that I authentication filter. Just implement, click on finish. Now create the one properties, that is a bool. This one is a allow. This one is a particular allow multiple, means like that multiple object you are going to return. So here it will return, just it will be the read only property. So return, it will be that false. Make it false here. Now I'll start from here. Authenticate async. So first one is that auth parameter, make a string.empty, then http request message, http request message, then make a request, let's go to context dot request, then authentication. Here you will get that header value, because of that client will send that token from that header. So that's why here I'm going to write like authentication header value, authorization, so request dot headers dot authorization. First I need to create one more class, because every time once it will be fail, just like if authorization that particular header is null, that times it will return that unauthorized. Just like here, if I'm going to write like if authorize equal to null, so it will return always, it will be that unauthorized. So some of the scenario. So I'm going to create the one class, it will be the authentication public class, authentication failure result. It's going to inherit that I http action result. Now implement this one. Okay, this one is the first of all, it will be the public string reason phrase, make, and second one is your http request message, like http request message. then request. Create a constructor, public, so it will take that string, reason phrase. First one is that your reason phrase, and second one is your HTTP request message. That is a request. So reason phrase equal to your reason phrase, and second one is your request. That request. And here it will return the task dot from result. I'm going to create that one method, that is execute. So create that one method, so it will return that HTTP response message, the public HTTP response message. So the name of that method will be the execute. So HTTP response message, is equal to new HTTP response message. So HTTP status host, it will be always unauthorized, will be the unauthorized. So response dot your response message dot request message, your request, and response message dot your reason for equal to your reason for. Then return that, return your response message. Now come to the here. This one make as a async task authentication. So here that if its authorization is equal to null, so return the error context dot error result is equal to new authentication failure result. So this particular authentication failure result, just now you have created that one, that class. This is the authentication failure result. Here is that constructor, it's asking for the string reason phrase and that request. So in that here, because it's a null, so we can write like a missing authorization, because header, it's coming from the header, so I'm missing authorization header. Okay, the next one will be the your request. Now next, if that authorization dot schema does not equal to bearer, so again it will return that error. So equal to name scene failure. Here I am going to write, because that this one is that invalid authorization schema. So I'm going to write like invalid authorization schema. Invalid authorization schema. Again, next one will be the your request. That is done. Because it's showing that we have to add one more. This one will come null. So we can write like this way. Still this one. Actually, it's not required. Because we are already checking here that null part, so just remove this one. One more condition need to check. This one is that if your string dot is null or empty, that parameters, this one, if is string and null and empty, again then it will return that one error message. Contextual. This one will be the missing token. One more error message comes. Now next one is that if everything will be okay, then your context dot your principal, so that particular principal, your it will return that your token manager. Just we have created that one, this the token manager dot your get principal, so it will ask for that your token. So what is your actually token? This one, authorization dot parameter. So this one is your token. That's it. So first of all, it will check that authorization, because that token will come from that header. So it will check that authorization here. If it's null, then it will return that error message. Then another one is that authorization dot schema. If does not equal to bearer, then it will return that error message, invalid authorization schema. Then if its parameter is empty or null, so it will just send that missing token. If it's everything will be okay, then it will that set that particular principal. For the challenge async, because in that authentication filter there is a two methods. One is that authenticates async, another one is that challenge async. Just this one also. Result. Yeah, I'm going to this one also I'm going to write like async. So this one will be the await, so it will write like a context dot result dot execute async. That is a cancellation token. The next one is the if result dot status code equal to http unauthorized so it will be that return result dot headers dot www dot authenticate dot add. So it will be that new authentication header value. So what will the authentication header value? It will be the basic. You can write like a bearer also. Then next one will be the parameter, so it will be the localhost. So context dot result equal to your new response message result equal to your result. That is done. Now this particular part has been done, that custom authentication also. So here everything we are checking here, and it will actually returning that your, if it's a fail, then it will return that error message. So always it will return that unauthorized. Any type of exception will come here. With that it will return that unauthorized. Now this particular custom authentication filter, I am going to use one more class, just like public HTTP response message. I'm going to hit get employee. Okay, that get employee I'm going to, and here I'm going to returning that request dot create response. So HTTP status code dot okay. Here I am going to write successfully valid. Call that one, that particular attributes, and this one is the HTTP get. Now directly I will try to call this one, that get employees. Let's see what you will get that error message. Just run the Google Chrome. That will be the account, that controller name, then get employees that action name. One more thing we have missed that, because here it should return here. If it's a false, then it should return same times. This one. Now once I will try to access this one, this particular employee, so it will ask for that login. Just write here that account slash get employee, that get employee, just call this one. So it will asking for login, because you directly you cannot access, because that token is your null. Just cancel this one. Now we are going to create that MVC, so it's going to be consume this particular Web API with that token. So open the Solution Explorer. We have already created that MVC project. Just right click on a controller, add that controller. So select that MVC5 empty controller, click on home. So write that HomeController. I'm not going to be design that, so just directly hard coding data I'm going to pass. Now first of all, here need to add one package. Just NuGet package manager browser. Here need to install that ASP.NET ASP.NET Web API client. Just write the Web API client only. Web API dot client. So yeah, Microsoft ASP.NET Web API clients. Just install this one. Just I accept. Okay, yeah, that is done. One thing we have missed in that Web API, because once we have installed that your course, but we didn't register, so need to register that course also. So very well, because that MVC project and Web API project will run in a different domain, so need to register, enable course attribute, the star. Here it will be that star allow for all. This one means that once you are going to write a star, that means allow for all. So that config dot enable course. So let's just register that course. This part has been done. Now we will start with that HomeController. make it like that. Go to the solution, right click that properties that both applications should run. So first of all, this one, that Web API will run, that is going to start, and then that is must start. Why we are going to run? Because I want to know that what's actually your URL. So just start, that both application will run. This one will give error because I didn't add that index, so that this will give that exception, that MVC project. So I want to only know that one, this particular URL, because this one is required for the consuming in that MVC project, that Web API URL. So this one is your Web API URL. Just close that one. This one will give you error because I didn't added that index. So just close that. Here I'm going to write that one particular URL. So make it as a private static string. This one is your Web API URL. So I'm going to write a Web API URL. So just insert that this particular. This is the URL. Now here first of all, once the loading, just once that index will load, it will return that token. Just I'm going to pass that user ID and password. Okay. So first of all, write that using where it will be the client is equal to new your HTTP client. This one you to use the HTTP client, and client, this one dot base address. So your base address is equal to new URI. So this one is the Web API URL. So before that, just clear the header. So client dot default request header dot clear. Now so this one will be the first of I'm going to add the default request header dot accept dot add is equal to new media type header value. This one will be your application slash JSON. So where that response message to have it client dot get async. So what is that? Is the your account controller account slash valid login. So here to write like account slash valid login. Here need to pass then question mark. So that username equal to hard code. I'm doing the hard code. So here that username is that admin. So I'm going to write like username is equal to admin and user password is also admin. So it will be the admin. Okay. Oh, this one is giving error because the async directly it will not return that action result. So make it as a task. That is it. Now you can see there is no error. So here to check that if response message dot is status code, if it's a true, then where that response message, the result message, this one result message is equal to your response message dot content dot result, and is a string. Read as string dot result. Now create that one variable, that is a token based is equal to string dot empty. So token based is equal to JSON convert dot deserialize object. So this one actually it will return the string your result message. It will return that content your token. Okay, first of all, I'm going to write like that. I will check how to consume. It's consuming that one, that MVC project with your Web API. So just run the application, then it will return that your token, because I'm just passing that admin username admin and password, that particular account valid login. Run the application. So you can see that this both are running in a different port. That API is running the port number 4051 and this one is a 4056. Now here you can see that your token is generated. It's returned the token. So this particular token I'm going to use. Okay, just close. So this particular token I'm going to add into the session. I'm going to write like a token number. Is equal to here, then token based. Okay, now going to create the one more action method. That action result. So it will be that it will return this particular, with the help of the tokens I'm going to call this get employee. So just I can write like a get, same thing I can write like a get employee. Okay. Only thing is that here I'm not going to add in this one, this request I am generating the token, but in that this request, that get employee action method, here I am going to add the token also. So just same things I'm to write like a using your where client equal to new HTTP client, and same like a client dot default. Just please copy this one, copy till here. Just paste it here. Same things. First I'm deleting that here headers. Then I'm writing that base address, that Web API URL. So that Web API URL is here. Then a request header. Here I am adding that one, that your application JSON. And one more headers need to add. That is your token headers. So here that client dot this one will be the authorization equal to your new authorization header. This one will be the bearer, and next one you have to write that your token. Look at two string. So in the another request, that for get employer you are adding that. So this way you can add token into that particular header. So here mention that this one is an authorization token, so authorization, and that schema is your bearer. Sometimes it's a bearer, sometimes basic. So it's a bearer and the token number, adding the token number. Now so again same like that, where response message is equal to same like a client get async. So once it's a get async, so here to write like await, and this one if it's await, so this one will be the async, and this one is a async, so this it will not return like directly, so to make as a task. So just async, the same like account that get implies. So that method that is a get imply. So that where response message, if it's true, then it will return that where the result message equal to your response message dot content dot read as a string as a string async. So because this one is actually is returning that string only. So main thing is that return message. So make it that string dot empty. Okay, return message. So return message is equal to JSON convert dot deserialize object. So generic types make is this returning that string and that your result message. So that result message again I have to use that return content and write that error message. So first times if I will call this one, so I will get that your token number, and next times I am passing that token number, I am returning that particular message successfully valid, this particular message. Now run the application. See, first of all it's generating the token. Okay, this one is generated the token. Now I'm going to use that get home / get employee. Just click this one. You can see you are getting that valid, successfully valid. And it's like that once I'm going to use that particular token, so it's checking that one. Okay, this one is particular user is that valid, but main thing is that you should not pass only that particular token. You should pass that particular user ID also, so that will be the good, because if someone use that particular token, they can use that particular token. So if it's a combination with your username and the token, so it will be the also good. So here you can that concat, just like here that you are adding that session that token. One more thing, you can add that one, that particular user. So you can concat with that. If you want, you can concat with that. Like this, or that particular username. That's same like that session what you are actually storing. So you can store that username also. So just like your username is your admin, so just add that admin here and also add the admin. So same that session you have to concat here, but need to change in that your Web API also, that your custom authentication filter. Here actually I'm passing only that token, so I'm using that particular token. So also need to split here. This particular parameters, actually it's returning the token, right? So what we can do here, we can make a string array that your token and user. Okay, actually this one is the token, so write that token user equal to your auth parameter. This one need to split with your column. Single quote that column. So this one is your token user. This one is your 0. First one is that your token user. So this one is will return the token user. It will check. And another one use your username. So if we will make that string token, so it will be like this. Just copy here and paste it this one here. And another one is that username. So username is the second, so make it this one will be the 1. So this one is the username. And if you will look in that token manager, go to definition, right, there is a one method that is a valid token, so use this one. Here use this one for valid token. If valid username, so what will be the valid username once you are going to pass that particular token? So you have to write like a token manager dot valid token. So what is the valid token? Once you are going to pass that valid token, okay, this particular token, that it will be returned that your username, valid username. And another, if you will match with your username, if it will be not match, means like that this particular valid username, once that token you are going to pass, so it will assign for particular user. Okay, so but if some other user want to use particular token, so that it will be say that this token is invalid. So this particular token is valid for the particular user only. So here you can check. So here you can write like a invalid token for user. Okay. That particular, this also part has been done. That everything's done. So here also need to change that one, get principal with the token. Now if you run the application, you will get that same output, but one more validation you have added here. We have added here, that is a this. The same URL, this one, if you will enter that one, this URL if you are going to use here, okay, that is valid. Okay, but if going to change this one, that your home controller, here I am passing that particular same session, but I am going to change this one to something else, like admin 5. This one I am going to write like this. Okay, so it will not return that message. Means like this one is invalid. So this one is token is generated. If I am going to use that same this get imply, see here, that is invalid. So you are not getting that message. If you will make that breakpoint here, so here it will display that when it is a false. And so press the enter. Okay, so check that this one is a false. Okay. So just review one times. In the solution, first we have created that one blank project, that empty project, and here I have added that two projects. One is that Web API, another one is that MVC. Same Web API you can use for Angular also. That, and if you write in the jQuery, same way you can write in a jQuery also. So in that Web API, first of all, I have added that one class, that is a token manager. This particular class, once you are going to pass that usernames, it will return that your one token, that is a generate tokens. That is a secret key. I have mentioned that you can write anything, any secret key. So that particular secret key, with the help of that particular secret key, it will return that particular token. And I have added the two more. So here, that if you will look that I'm the subject, I'm adding that your name, just like a claim types is the name. So you can add more things, just like a country, all things you can you can add that custom claim also. It will be expired in the 30 minutes. That I have added that 30 minutes, that signature, that algorithms that are used. And two more method I have added, that one is the get principal. Once you are going to pass that token, it will return that claims principal. Another one is that if you are going to pass that particular token, so it will return that username. So here I am going to I'm returning that one, that username. Okay. Next I have created that controller. So in that controller I have added that two methods. One is that this for anonymous, so that I have added that attributes. So this one can apply, that particular applied for that controller level, action level, or global level also you can write. So here I am doing that hard coded for understand purpose, because this one it will come from the database, so you can use that entity framework. If you want, you can use the Templar. So I am hard coding here. So if that username is admin and username and user password is that admin, so it will return that one token. So that particular user who are going to pass that particular user ID and password, it will generate that token. If it's that user and password is invalid, so it will return that error message that username and password is invalid. So that particular, that custom at that filters I have created here, that is a custom authentication filter. So I am implementing that one on authorized attributes and I authentication filter. There is a two method, that is authenticate async, and one more is that your challenge async. So I created that one, allow multiple means multiple object, but I am making that false, then only one object can create. So in that authenticate things, because every times in every request I am going to check this, that particular token is valid or not, because one times if we user login, enter the login, valid login and password, so from the next times it will pass that particular your token. So with that help of the token, we will going to verify, so that it will. So I'm checking that here. The first one is that authorization is null, and authorization schema should be bearer, and splitting that one, because I am passing with that your token with that user. So I am splitting that one. I am getting that one particular token and that username, because I am verifying that username also with the token and username. If it's a valid, if it's not valid, so it will return that one unauthorized. It will be the return that unauthorized. In that home control, if we will go and look, and first of all I am passing that one. Mostly ones are going to use that your authentication, just use that post method, don't use get. But for understanding purpose, I am adding that one, that with that help of URL I am passing, but don't pass like that. And that password should be encrypted, not like this way. So that client, I've created the client, so it passing that one, that username and password, just it's hard coded only. So once it will be successful, so it will return that token. So I am adding that particular token into that session. You will look that one, I am adding that token into the session. Next times in the next request I am passing that token into the header. just click here. If I am that client dot default request header dot authorization, okay, new authentication with the help of bearer and the token number and adding that particular user. Okay, so if the token is matching, the token is valid, so it you are returning that data of that you are accessing that particular account controller and get implemented. But one more thing is that, because if we will look here in that token managers, I have added here that 30 minutes, right? So what will happen that if it's 30 minutes over, so it will be expired, the token will be expired. But what we can add here, we can add one more token, that is called, that one is a refresh token. Okay, so that particular refresh tokens we can add into the database. So every time that user will pass, one is that refresh token and one is the token. So request once it will be expired, so we can check that okay, that particular token is expired, so we can revalidate in the same times. Because what will happen that if that particular user is busy with that using something, that you're using your website, if token will be expired, so it will be redirect to the login page. That is will be the not good way or not a good practice. So better, so that's why we can use that one more token, that is a refresh token. Once that user is busy and token is going to be expired, so that particular request we can generate new token to the user. That we'll check in the next video. I hope it's clear. Thanks for watching.